Hello and welcome to Mindseed's yet another storytelling session. Well, it's a Sunday and we're back. We're back with a beautiful story for all of you. And this time it's going to be very interesting once again. This story has got something that we all do almost every week. So, how many of you like drawing? Y'all can put a yes in the chat. And how many of you think you're great at drawing? Like you love drawing and you're so good at it. So, y'all can put that on the chat as well. And how many of you think you just can't draw? Well, put that on the chat as well. So, in today's story, we're going to talk about this little girl who is having some trouble with drawing. And she feels that she's not able to think what to draw. So let's find out, what does she end up doing? Does she draw or does she draw nothing at all? Okay? All right. So in today's story, our dear little friend is a little girl called Vashti. Now Vashti loves going to school, she loves her teacher, but when it comes to her art class, she becomes a little quiet because she sometimes struggles to think what to draw. And one such day, when she was sitting in her art class, she was just thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. What do I draw? I don't know. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to make. And I don't know what to draw. Do you think you have any suggestion for Vashti? Why don't you put that up on the chat as well? Okay, so the bell rang and all the students left. But Vashti was sitting on her chair and she was thinking for the longest time. And her paper was blank. So she was a little upset and annoyed also that not figuring out what to draw and where to start. So slowly, at the end of the class, when all the children went away, her dear art teacher, okay, she comes and she asks Vashti, Vashti, what happened? Why aren't you doing anything as yet? Or have you finished what your drawing is? Can you show it to me? So Vashti hands over her paper and she said, here. So the teacher looks at this and she's like, oh wow, this looks like a polar bear in a snowstorm. And that, our Vashti's like, yeah, ma'am, that's not what it is. I can't even draw anything. I can't even do anything. So the teacher tells her, Vashti, if nothing, you can at least put a mark on your paper. Why don't you just make your mark? So Vashti is thinking, and so then she takes her colors up and she makes a dot. This is what it looks like. So the teacher looks at it again and she is trying to read and understand what Vashti is drawn. And she says, why don't you just sign it? So she said, okay, if you say so, ma'am, you want me to sign it, I can sign it. So she says, at least if I can't draw, I can at least write my name. So she writes her name, Vashti. And then she gives the paper to her teacher. And then few weeks later, when she comes back to the art class, she looks up on the wall. And you know what did she see? She saw that this drawing that she had made, the dot, this, her art teacher had very nicely put it in a beautiful golden frame, and she had put it back right behind her table, up on the wall. And look, that's where she had written her name as well. So our dear friend Vashti started looking at it. She was like, oh, that is my painting. And she looks at it much closer and then she tries to see it properly and she's like, I think I can do much better than this. So she goes back to her table, she removes her big box of colors, and then she starts drawing something. You know, she starts making more dots. So she makes this kind of a dot. She makes these different colorful dots, and then she tries mixing different colors, you know, putting up orange with mixing yellow and red, and then she tries to make blue, and then she makes light blue, yellow, green, black, so many different colors and so many different dots. So she keeps on and on and on and on drawing, and she comes up with so many of them. And soon, by the end of the year, they had a beautiful little exhibition of their own, and all their artwork was displayed. So the teacher was very happy, and when all the parents came, they were coming and seeing, like, wow, children have done some great drawing. And with all of that, this little girl had so many of her own drawings put up. So with a dot, she made a sun, and then she also made a tulip flower. Like, she started with a dot, and then she made these 3 triangles. And look, of course, she's also got her little name put up over here. So not just this, but there were so many other drawings. Just like, you remember the ones where she had made so many colorful dots. Or this one. Yeah? And then so many more. And of course, her first painting was already there. And so, in this exhibition, there was a little boy, her friend, Bunty. And Bunty was just seeing all these colorful, beautiful, painted dots. Some which had big dots, some which had small dots, some which had many dots, some which just had one dot. And he was looking and admiring at all the paintings, and then he was seeing them, and soon Vashti came over and she was just talking to him. And then Bunty tells Vashti, "Hey Vashti, these are such beautiful paintings. How wonderfully do you draw? I wish I could make something like this also." So Vashti was like, "Why not? I think you can also draw. It's not impossible. Why don't you take this paper and why don't you make your mark?" So the boy, our little friend Bunty, he said, "Oh no, I can't. I don't think so. I don't think I can even draw a straight line using a ruler. So I don't think I can draw." But Vashti says, "Just give it a try. Maybe if you want, you can make something very nice out of it. So here, take this paper and draw." So Bunty is feeling a little scared, but he takes the paper and he tries to draw a line. And he drew that line and he showed it to our friend Vashti. So Vashti looks at it and she was like, why don't you sign it?" Oh wow, he thinks the same way. Maybe I can't draw a straight line, but I can always write my name. So he writes his name in big bold letters. And he writes his name as Bunty. And there you go. So Bunty also now has a painting. Isn't that wonderful? So with that, not just Bunty, not just Vashti, but so many other friends of her class were so happy to see their paintings. So all it takes is to just make your mark. And who knows, so many different things that you can make. So with that, our story has come to an end. Did you really like it? Why don't you put your answer on the chat? And along with that, I'm going to give you a small task this time. This time we're not going to do any song. This time we're not going to do any activity. But I am going to give you a small task. Now, what are you supposed to do in this task? Our story was about the dot and our character Vashti, she has a small tiny request for all of you. She wants to see your drawings as well. I mean, we got to see a lot of her drawings, so I think even she wants to see a lot of your drawings. So, all of you, my little ones, you all are going to take your box of colors. It can be color pencils, it can be sketch pens, it can be paints, whatever you like. And you all are going to take your paints and you all are going to make your mark. You can start with dots and you can make whatever you feel like making. And take a picture with your drawing and send it to us on our Mindseed Facebook or our Instagram handle. The details will be mentioned in the comments below. Okay? So, you all, I am going to wait for your drawings as well. Why don't you send me your dots? And also find out where in your house do you find dots around you. It could be on your dresses. It could also be on your hairband. Like, look at Vashti. She's got all these little dots on her hairband, little polka dots. Or it could be in her teacher's bindi. Maybe even her gajra, isn't it? So look at different things around you, and you can also make different kinds of drawings with these dots. You want to find out? Look, you can make so many things. You can make a flying ball, you can make a little flying boy, you can make a flying girl, you can make these different planets or so many these starry objects, like these, and so many little stars all around. It's just almost like there's a universe of these dots, and all these little kids are flying around. Like, look at their faces, they all start with dots. So find out. Why don't you see around you, look around you and find out what all can you see. Yeah? Or you could even make these beautiful flowers which have lots and lots of dots. And you can make dots not just with your sketch pens, but maybe even with your fingertips. And that's how we've made these. Isn't that fun? And if not just that, there are so many other options. We can make Ganesha. Look, the big fat dot right here. And then there are so many different shapes. So why don't you give it a try? Get your papers out and get started. And just before we end, let's also introduce you to one very naughty dot, which has been being a little bit mischievous. It has not been listening to anybody. And this big dot is the coronavirus. The big dot, which is super naughty and does not like to listen to any medicines and is constantly going to all the different types of people all around the world, and it's making them sick, it's giving them fever, it is giving them some cough, and it is making them very unwell. So this Mr. Dot, the monster little dot, the coronavirus, is something which is causing a lot of problem. I hope you all have heard about this virus. So you can also think about making some funny cartoons with this virus. Maybe it'll go away soon if it sees your cartoons. But there are some things that I want all my little babies to take good care of in times of this pandemic. In times of this coronavirus, till as long as it is there, I want some of you to take good care. And I know that our friends Vashti and Bunty, they both would want you all to be very careful and do a few things that will help you all during this pandemic. So what is the first thing that you need to do? The first thing that you need to do is to wash your hands. Okay? And when you wash your hands, you don't just switch on the tap and wash your hands and walk out. But you all have to use some soap on your hands and you have to keep washing it properly. And when you wash it, you all can sing a song. What is that song? Top and bottom, in between, Rub and scrub together, rub and scrub together. Now we're clean, squeaky clean. So, yes, rub your fingernails, rub your thumb in between your fingers for good 20 seconds. So, sing this song, and every time you are doing washing your hands, make sure that you're washing it very, very properly. So, when do you keep washing your hands? You have to wash it every time you come from outside if you have gone out for some work with mama or papa, or not without them. Okay? In case if you are about to start eating your food, then you have to wash your hands. If you've just cleaned your nose, or if you've sneezed, or you've coughed, or maybe even if you've played with your little pet, it could be a bird, it could be a dog, it could be a cat, whatever pet. So you all have to make sure that you all wash your hands thoroughly with the soap. Don't forget. And what is the next thing that you have to do? You all, when every time you want to sneeze, achoo, or if you want to cough, so you all will do it in your elbow. So hold out your hand like this and you can cough in your elbow, just to make sure that you are not passing it on to somebody else. Because we all have to just not only take care of ourselves, we have to take care of mummy, papa, and our little brothers or big brothers and big sisters, or little brothers and little sisters, right? Even grandmama and grandpapa, right? So we will make sure that when we cough, we're going to cough in our elbows, right? So with that, after that, what do? We wash our hands, right? And don't forget, if at all you have to go out, you have to wear your mask. Don't forget your mask every time you go out. And when you come back, you know that you have to clean yourself and you have to be nice and healthy. And every time you feel a little worried, a little sick, please go quickly to mummy and papa and tell them, I am not feeling good. Please help me. Okay? And if somebody is feeling unwell, let's try to help them. Maybe if you can't do it directly, you can tell mama and papa. I'm sure they will look out for some ways to help. Always stay happy. And if at all you feel very sad about something, you know what you can do. All you have to do is take a piece of paper and make some dots. Start drawing. If you all remember that we had done this story once called Angry Akku, and what Akku did when she used to feel angry or sad or upset or even sometimes happy. What she used to do was draw something. So I'm sure for all of you, y'all can draw anytime, as many times, and all the time. Okay? I hope you've enjoyed our story. I had a great time talking to all of you about this beautiful story called The Dot. And yes, with our little friends Bunty and Vashti. It's time to say bye to them. See you, friends. Bye.